Got one more passage, and the title is The Case for Mixed Ability Class. Now, there is the case study for mixed ability class. Mixed ability class means a class where intelligent students and less intelligent students, they were studying together. So, we've got all the passage. Now, please come to questions. 27 to 30, multiple choice questions. 31 to 35, summary completion with a box. Right? You will find a word in the passage, then you will find the synonym of that word in the box, and you will write your answer. And last questions are yes, no, not given. So in this test, we didn't have true, false, not given, only yes, no, not given as the last question. Where should we start from? Exactly. Complete the summary using the list of phrases. So let's start with summary completion. After that, you can do yes, no, not given or multiple choice questions. But the good thing is all three question types are type A. All the questions are type A. Type A means questions and their answers, they are in order. Okay. So let's make a start. We've got question number 31. Is streaming effective? Now streaming, we know one streaming only on Facebook or YouTube, live streaming and all that. Let's see, is streaming effective? According to Professor John Hattie of the Melbourne Educational Research Institute, look for John Hattie, Melbourne Education Research Institute. John Hattie. Professor John Hattie, second page, first paragraph and first line. Professor John Hattie, Director of the Melbourne Education Research Institute. Found it? Now this is the location and answers are going to start from here, right? And you will find the answers here. And the good news is you will find all the answers in two paragraphs. This paragraph and the next paragraph, and you will find all four answers. Now let's read the question. There is a very little, I'm reading question number 31. There is very little indication that streaming leads to dash. Little indication, streaming leads to something. Let's go back. Please come to the previous paragraph. Despite all this, there is a limited empirical evidence. Please come to first title page. Title page, last two lines, because this paragraph starts from here. Title page, last two lines. Despite all this, there is limited empirical evidence. Now, limited empirical evidence, what does that mean? There is very little indication. Okay. So, there is very limited empirical evidence to suggest that streaming results in better outcome for student. Results in mean leads to better outcome for students. Now, let's see. A word for better outcome for students, leads to. Look for a synonym of better outcome for students. It's option H, higher achievements. Okay, streaming leads to higher achievement. For higher achievement, they use the word better outcome. Better outcome and higher achievements, they are synonyms. So that is why correct answer is option H. And one answer will be used once only. So once you use one option, you can just cross that from there. Okay, he points out that, I'm reading question number 32. He points out that in schools which use streaming, the most significant impact is on those students placed in the dash. Now, students placed in the dash. Now, let's go back. Same paragraph. Please follow me. Second page, first paragraph, fourth line after full stop. What is more, streaming appears to significantly and negatively affect those students assigned to the lowest sets. So, those students placed in the, for placed in they use the word assigned in. What is the answer? Answer is lowest set. Now please see the synonym of lowest set. Lowest sets. Bottom sets. D is the right answer. For lowest, right word is bottom. Lowest class, bottom class. Right? So D is the right answer for question number 32. By the way, you are doing academic IELTS reading section 3. This is the highest level of English. Okay? This is the English for Queen of England or President of America. Right? Okay. Question number 33. Especially where a large proportion of them. What do they mean by them? Students. Large proportion of them have dash. Now let's go back. So I'm reading after lowest sets. These students, found it? Okay, middle. Second page, first paragraph in the middle after lowest sets. These students tend to have much higher representation of low socio-economic class. Right? Much higher representation of socio-economic class. Okay, just a second. Let me refresh the question in my mind. Especially where a large proportion of them have, okay, so they say here, low socio-economic class, higher representation. Higher representation means, yeah, large proportion of them have and they use the word much higher representation of low socio-economic class. Now look for the synonym of low socio-economic class. That is option F. Low socio-economic class means disadvantaged background. Disadvantaged background means low socio-economic class. So F is the right answer for question number 33. I mean, you need to know these synonyms and you can only learn them by practicing IELTS reading tests. Right? Okay. Meanwhile, for the dash, there appears to be only minimal advantage. Now for whom there is that minimal advantage. Same paragraph. Less significant. I'm reading it from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th last line. Less significant is the small benefit for those lucky, clever students. Now look for something lucky, clever students. Alright, lucky, clever students. For that we've got option E, brightest pupils. Lucky and clever students, they are brightest. Clever means they are very clever in the class. They can do everything properly. So option E, brightest pupil. For students, they use the word pupils. Pupil is the synonym of students. And for brightest, lucky and clever. Okay. There appears to be only minimal advantage. A further issue is that teachers tend to have dash of students. Teachers have something related to students. Next paragraph. Second paragraph. Second page, second paragraph. And you see the word teachers in 4th line. I'm reading it from 3rd line. One of the most significant factors is teachers' estimate of achievement. Streaming students by diagnosed achievement automatically limits what the teacher feels the student is capable of. So teachers' estimate of achievement. Okay, and then they say streaming students by diagnosed achievement automatically limits what the teacher feels. Automatically limits what the teachers feel. Which option is that? Limits what the teacher feels. That is lower expectation. Limits. And that is lower. And expectation, what the teacher feels. Right? B is the right answer for question number 35. So on your answer sheet, you will only write the letters. You will not write the words. Okay? Now, what should we do? Yes, no, not given or multiple choice? Yes, no, not given can be a good idea. I tell you why. You can have tukka stuff also. Right? You can get rid of it earlier. And for yes, no, not given, you have to read one sentence to answer one question. Okay? And questions and answers are in order. Okay? Let's start. Question number 36. Vygotsky, whatever, okay? If you mispronounce it, don't worry, no one is there to correct you. So, Vygotsky model of education. Now, Vygotsky is your clue word, and his model of education supports the concept of mixed ability class. Now, listen, if his model of education supports mixed ability class, mixed ability means intelligent students, less intelligent students, and dull students, they are studying together in one class, okay? So, if his model supports, answer is yes. If his model disapproves or does not support, answer is no. And if they don't tell us whether his model supports or not, then answer is not given. Now, let's go back. Can you find him? Okay. So, it's the second last paragraph, title page, second last paragraph, where we find this answer. Yeah. What we are going to look for is his education model supports mixed ability class. Okay. Now, the statement about him is given in the beginning, right? Please come to the last line of second last paragraph, and that forcing everyone. Found it? Okay, it's the fourth last line of the whole page. Title page, fourth last line. And that forcing everyone. Found it? And that forcing everyone on the same hike regardless of aptitude would be madness. Okay, now come back. Vygotsky model of education supports the concept of mixed ability. He says it is madness. When he says it is madness, does he support? No, he does not support. So what should be the answer? Answer should be no. Well done. Got it? There he says it's madness, and here they say it supports. Question number 37. Some teachers are certain about allowing students to take on MKO roles in the classroom. Now, MKO roles, and teachers are certain. Certain means they are sure. Sorry, teachers are uncertain means they are unsure. Okay, teachers are uncertain about allowing students to take an MKO roles in the classroom. All right, MKO. MKO is there. Second page, left column, and last paragraph. A crucial aspect. Found it? Okay, now let's read it from there. A crucial aspect of constructivist theory is the role of MKO, more knowledgeable other. MKO means more knowledgeable other. In knowledge construction, while teachers are traditionally the MKOs in the classroom, the value of knowledgeable students' peers must not go unrecognized. Have they mentioned anything that teachers are uncertain or teachers are certain? There is no information about the certainty of teachers. That is why answer is not given. Okay? In the question they say teachers are uncertain. In the passage they do not touch the issue of certainty or uncertainty. Question number 38. It can be rewarding to teach knowledge which you have only recently acquired. Recently acquired means new knowledge, not old knowledge. He says it can be rewarding to teach knowledge which you have only recently acquired. Now we go on. Second last paragraph. In the middle, after full stop, there is also something. Found it? Everyone? Second last paragraph of the passage in the middle, there is also something exciting about passing on skills and knowledge that you yourself have just mastered. You have just mastered. What does it mean? It can be rewarding to teach knowledge which you have only recently acquired. Only recently acquired means just mastered. So answer is yes. Question number 39. Priority should be to ensure that the highest achieving students attain their goals. Priority should be to ensure that highest achieving students, like the position holders, should get their position, right? Highest achieving students attain their goals. Last paragraph. Last paragraph, 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth line, after full stop, you see the word and. Found it? And. And today, more than ever, we need the many to flourish, not suffer at the expense of a few bright stars. What does he say? He says, and today, more than ever, we need the many to flourish. Many means all the students should flourish, not suffer at the expense of a few bright stars. Like few bright stars are bright students, he says it's not that we need to pay attention to the bright students only. Now what's the question? The priority should be to ensure that the highest achieving students attain their goals? No. Right? In the passage he says, and today more than ever we need the many to flourish. Many means bright and dull together, they need to flourish, not suffer at the expense of a few bright stars. Okay, question number 40. Taking part in collaborative outdoor activities with teachers and classmates can improve students' outcomes in the classroom. So, fourth last line. The fittest students realize they need to encourage the reluctant. There are lookouts who report back and extra items to carry for others. There is no information here. Once a year, please read from here. Once a year, I go on a hike with my class, a mixed bunch of students. It is challenging. The fittest students realize they need to encourage the reluctant. There are lookouts who report back and extra items to carry for others. We make it together. What's the question? Taking part in collaborative outdoor activities with teachers and classmates can improve students' outcomes in the classroom. Have they mentioned anything about the outcome of this activity? They talked about activity. Now, activity is good or bad or whatever the outcome is, that is not mentioned. That is why the answer is not given for question number 40. I again advise you to repeat the whole test, right? This test is confusing in all parts, although there are type A questions, but still it is confusing. Okay, now we are left with multiple choice questions 27, 28, 29 and 30. If the time is running out and they say 1 minute left, write all A or all B. If you write all A's, one answer will be correct. If you write all B's, one answer will be correct. And if you write all C's, two answers will be correct without effort. Okay? So don't do this 27A, 28B, 29, C, not like this, okay? When you're doing true, false, not given and you want to guess all true or all false, don't write not given because the proportion of not given is less than true or false. When you write all true and there are 6 questions, 3 answers will be right without any, and this is only last minute tip. Don't do it tomorrow in the class, okay? Yeah, that you're doing it from tomorrow. This is just the last minute tip. When the time is running out, 1 minute left, 2 minutes left, then you can just do it all. Don't leave any blank. And don't give up in your IELTS reading test. Like they say, 40 minutes over, 20 minutes left, and you say, test is very difficult, I can't do. You should do it. However, you need to complete on your answer sheet, there must be 40 answers. Right or wrong, you need to do that. Okay? All right, now let's go on. We've got questions 27 onwards. Write the correct letter. Question number 27. Writer describes Romeo and Juliet lesson in order to demonstrate. Now, Romeo and Juliet is a love story. So, what is it that writer describes Romeo and Juliet in order to demonstrate something? Okay, Romeo and Juliet. Where do you find it? First paragraph. Now, answers will go on from here. Okay. Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet with a class of 15-year-old, He's given some of the students copies of No Fear, Shakespeare, a kid-friendly translation of the original. For 3 students, even these literacy demands are beyond them. Another girl simply can't focus and gives her pens and paper to draw with. The teacher can ask the No Fear group to identify the key characters and maybe provide a tentative plot summary. He can ask most of the class about character development, and 5 of them might be able to support their statements with textual evidence. Now, 2 curious students are wondering whether Shakespeare advocates living a life of moderation or one of passionate engagement. So, a lot of information. Now, let's go back. Have you noticed one thing? 2 students had this. A girl who was not taking interest, teacher gave her the pen to draw pictures and all that, right? So, let's see. The writer describes a Romeo and Juliet lesson in order to demonstrate. Option A. In multiple choice, elimination is the best one. If you eliminate wrong choices, you will come closer to the right answer. Option A. How few students are interested in literature? No. Option B. How a teacher handles a range of learning needs? Maybe. Option C. How unsuitable Shakespeare is for most teenagers? Not at all. Option D. How weaker students can disrupt their classmates' learning? So, correct answer is option B. How a teacher handles a range of learning needs. Come back, please. Okay, so he's given some of the students copies of No Fear, Shakespeare, a kid-friendly translation of the original. For 3 students, even these literacy demands are beyond them. What does it mean? 3 students are unable to understand. Another girl simply cannot focus. Now, what is it? Different learning needs. The teacher can ask the No Fear group to identify the key characters and all that. So, how a teacher handles a range of learning needs? B is the right answer. Question number 28. What does the writer say about streaming in the 3rd paragraph? Streaming in 3rd paragraph. 1, 2, 3. Okay, what does the writer say about streaming in 3rd paragraph? The practice of streaming, found it? Okay, the practice of streaming or tracking involves separating students into classes depending on their diagnosed levels of attainment. At a macro level, it requires the establishment of academically selective schools. Macro level. One is micro and one is macro. Macro means wide, micro means small. So, at macro level, it requires the establishment of academically selective schools for the brightest students and comprehensive schools for the rest. Rest means the remaining students. Okay. Now, let's go back. So, what does the writer say about streaming in the 3rd paragraph? Option A, it has a very broad appeal. Macro level. Very broad appeal. That links. Okay. Option B, it favors clever students. No. Option C, it is relatively simple to implement. Not at all. See, this is called elimination. You eliminate wrong options. Option D, it works better in some schools than others. No. So, it has a very broad appeal, and for broad appeal, they use the word macro level. At a macro level, it requires the establishment and all that. Okay, one more thing. Second last line of same paragraph. The practice is intuitively appealing to almost every stakeholder. Appealing to every stakeholder. What does it mean? It is very broad appeal. Appealing to every stakeholder. Every stakeholder means very broad. Okay. Okay. Question number 29. What idea is suggested by the reference to Mount Komolangma, okay, whatever it is, just try to read it as it is. So what idea is suggested by the reference of Mount la 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 in the 5th paragraph? Now we go to 5th paragraph, Mount this, what idea is suggested? 5th paragraph, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's the second column, second paragraph. Title page, second column, second paragraph. Mixed ability class. Found it? Now read it carefully. Mixed ability class bored students frustrate parents and burn out teachers. The brightest ones will never submit, mount this, and the stragglers won't enjoy the lovely stroll in the park they are perhaps more suited to. Individuals suffer at the demands of collective mediocrity prevails, so is learning like hiking. I mean, just read again. Mixed ability class, bore students. He says mixed ability, bore students, frustrate parents and burn out teachers. Means teachers have to struggle a lot. Like 5 students understand, 25 students don't understand, right? The brightest ones will never submit, mount this, and the stragglers won't enjoy the lovely stroll in the park and all that. Now, let's go back. What idea is suggested by the reference of Mount Komolangma in the 5th paragraph? Option A, students following unsuitable paths. Not at all. They did not discuss paths that they are following. I mean, this is a mountain. Mount this is a mountain, right? Option B, students attempting interesting tasks. No. Option C, students not achieving their full potential. Yeah, maybe. Option D, students not being aware of their limitations. Okay, let's go back. Let's read it again. Mixed ability class, bore students, frustrate parents and burn out teachers. The brightest ones will never submit, mount Komolangma, and the stragglers will not enjoy the lovely stroll in the park they are perhaps more suited to. Now those people who are not able to climb the mountain, they can enjoy in the park, so they will not enjoy. Individuals suffer at the demands of the collective, mediocrity prevails, so is learning like hiking. All right. So correct answer for that is option C. Students not achieving their full potential. What idea is suggested by the reference to Mount Komolanga? In the 5th paragraph, students not achieving their full potential. Come back. When they say the brightest ones will never submit, mount this, and the stragglers won't enjoy the lovely stroll in the park they are perhaps more suited to. So they will not reach their full potential. Mixed ability class, bore students, frustrate parents and burn out teachers. And the brightest ones will never submit and the stragglers will not enjoy. So they will not reach their full potential. Yeah. Okay, let's go on. Question number 30. What does the word scaffolding in the 6th paragraph refer to? Scaffolding. So what is the reference of scaffolding in 6th paragraph? All right, scaffolding. Where is it? Huh? Okay, it's the title page and last paragraph where you found ZPD, right? You will find it in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6th last line, scaffolding. I'm reading it from 2 lines above. The purpose of teaching is, found it? Yes, sir. Now please follow me here. The purpose of teaching is to provide and then gradually remove this scaffolding. Now what is scaffolding? We got to see that. Until they are autonomous. If we accept, okay, we are not clear about scaffolding. Let's go on 1 to 2 lines above. Can you see development ZPD? I'm reading it from there. Development ZEP PD. This is the gap between what they can achieve only with support, teachers, textbooks, worked examples, parents and so on, and what they can achieve independently. The purpose of teaching is to provide and then gradually remove this scaffolding until they are autonomous. Okay. Now scaffolding is something to tell them how to do something until they are autonomous. If we accept this model, it follows that streaming students with similar ZPDs would be an efficient and effective solution. So let's go back. Option A, factors which prevent a student from learning effectively. Option B, environment where most of the students' learning takes place. No. Option C, assistance given to a student in their initial stage of learning. And option D, setting of appropriate learning targets for a student's aptitude. Let's go back. The purpose of teaching is to provide and then gradually remove this scaffolding until they are autonomous. Okay, now yeah, it's actually going to be option C. Assistance given to a student. That is scaffolding, assistance given to a student in their initial stages of learning until they are autonomous. Until they are autonomous means when they know how to do things. So before becoming autonomous, that means initial stage of learning, and scaffolding means assistance given to a student in their initial stage. C will be the right answer for that. All right. Okay, now let me tell you one thing, IELTS reading will be like this. Okay, you cannot say that IELTS reading should become simpler or easier, or you cannot pray the day when I have my exam, passage will be very simple, questions will be very easy, right? All the night you pray for that, and when you go for your exam, then you find it's very difficult. In the last exam, which was held probably a couple of days before, some of the students, they sent me the feedback and they said reading was extremely difficult. Now it depends on the students. For an average student, any reading is very difficult. For someone who has good know-how, it can be moderate. So level of difficulty depends on you, but that's true. Sometimes reading can be very, very stormy. In the actual exam, your ears will be red, okay, and you'll be doing reading and all that stuff. So in order to avoid such type of situation, it's a very good idea to solve at least 1 to 2 reading tests a day with the timer. You should have proper timer, okay, 50 minutes or 55 minutes. If you're planning to appear in computer delivered IELTS, then complete a test in 1 hour. But if you're planning to appear in paper delivered IELTS, then you should do it all in 50 to 55 minutes because you have to transfer the answers to answer sheet as well, right? Now, most important thing is if you do not understand IELTS reading, academic IELTS reading at all, it's a good idea to solve some general training reading tests. And then you can come to academic reading, you will understand things better, okay? And if you are a general training IELTS student and your score is not improving, then it's a good idea to solve some academic reading tests. When you face difficulty, then general training reading will be quite easier. Like, 1 week we solve academic reading test, 1 week we solve general training reading test. The week when we solve general training reading test, academic IELTS students are very angry. Sir, this is so simple. This is so easy. Why don't we have that? Right? So when we solve academic reading, then general training students are quite uncomfortable, right? But anyways, reading is like this. But the good thing is if you practice, you can overcome all these things. You can master this and you can be all right. Okay? Thank you so much.